Imagine a professional boxer who dodges for fun, averting all punches and attempts from his adversary. A boxer who is untouchable in the ring. That is precisely who we will be talking about today. Ben Whittaker is a new hotshot in the boxer world, skyrocketing from the bottom to the top right on everyone's lips, and deservingly so. Numerous videos of his bouts flood the internet with his unique style of boxing and his evident nature of moving like the wind, dodging every attempt at him in the ring. The Englishman reflexes wow every spectator, as he often makes fun of his adversary dancing around the ring unfazed by the threat of his opponent, and justifiably so, as he just can't seem to be touched. Many draw comparisons from his style to the great Naseem Hamed. Aside from his flamboyant boxing style and theatrics, there's more to him. Who is Ben Whittaker, you wonder? And how did he become so successful and untouchable? Hang on tight as we take you on the journey of this boxer. Ben Whittaker was born Robert Whittaker on the 6th of June in 1997. The boxer's father, Tony Whittaker, worked multiple jobs coherently to provide for his family. Nurturing his family, his father noticed signs of restlessness and hyperactivity in his young son, Ben. Ben's hyperactivity and temper led to frequent fights in school that became worrying for his father. Then Ben's father deduced a plan and began to channel his son's character into something fruitful. Tony Whittaker began to channel his son's traits into sports. Soon, Ben developed an interest and love for both boxing and football. Equally interested and passionate about both sports, Ben had no preference. But his father took the decision into his own hands for Ben. The teenage Ben was nudged into the world of boxing. And so his journey to being a professional boxer and being a champion began. There was no regret as to his decision. Ben believed firmly he and his father made the right decision. As an amateur, Ben's talent was evident, and his rise to the top was expected by everyone who watched him box. He danced around the ring, thoroughly entertaining the fans, and was a fierce competitor. He won tournament after tournament as an amateur, but the significant moment of his amateur career came during the Olympics in 2021. Whittaker had an impressive run in the Olympics that saw him pick up a lot of attention, and also a silver medal. But at the time, Whittaker was incredibly dissatisfied with his accomplishment. Desperate to have come out triumphant with gold, Whittaker took home the silver in a sour mood as he removed the medal right after it was placed on his neck. Later, with a newfound perspective, Whittaker found his reaction to be petulant and believed he did a great service to his country by bringing a medal home, and saw it as a platform for his rise to glory now. The silver medal brought a lot along the way for Whittaker, as he then went on to become a professional boxer. A lot of promoters and collaborators also came his way. On July 30th, 2022, Whittaker had his first match as a professional boxer as he fought against Greg O'Neill. The match gave everyone what they expected, as the game started off electrifying as both boxers went toe-to-toe with each other. As always, Whittaker entertained the audience as always with his unique style in the boxing ring, moving one step ahead of his opponent, dodging every attack sent his way like he saw them coming seconds earlier. He danced around the ring, frustrating his adversary, as it was just hard to get a hit on him. After toying with O'Neill in the first round, the dancing starlet Whittaker ended the match early into the second round with a punch straight to the temple of his opponent. With his name on everyone's lips after his first fight, Whittaker fought his second match as a professional just a month later. This would prove to be a great test of skill for Whittaker, as his opponent, Nosek, had an unblemished record of 6 wins to no losses. For 6 straight rounds, Whittaker dominated the ring, landing great hits at Nosek and averting attempts from his competitor. Whittaker aimed for a knockout win, but Nosek was incredibly tough and would give the Englishman no satisfaction. Eventually, Whittaker won by the judges' verdict unanimously. More echoes and praises of Whittaker went around the globe. This was a superstar in the making. Whittaker would not fight until the following year against a new opponent, Jordan Grant. Whittaker towered over his opponent and made sure to use his physical advantage to great effect. From the start, Whittaker went on the offensive, overwhelming his opponent. Whittaker was never one to leave his spectators bored. He danced around the ring with antics and even engaged in little conversations with his opponent. At one point, he openly collected blows to mock his adversary that his punches meant nothing. A few rounds in, and it was evident on the face of Grant that he was getting battered. Eventually, a great left-hand strike from Whittaker in the third round saw Grant fall flat on the floor as his team proceeded to throw in the towel. This brought about Whittaker's third win in 3 matches. Not only did Whittaker win his fights, he dominated every second of them and showed his quality. Less than a month later, wanting more action, Whittaker went up against a Russian boxer named Vladimir Belitsky. This proved to be a serious test for Whittaker, as his opponent proved unwavering. Despite Whittaker's domination, the Russian persevered throughout all 8 rounds. Still, this didn't change Whittaker's approach to the match. He was entertaining as ever, drawing cheers from the spectators and dancing around the ring. From the third round, Whittaker dominated thoroughly as Vladimir was on the receiving end of everything. By the 8th round, the referee had had enough and ended the match in favor of Whittaker. This displeased the Russian, but nothing could be said. The decision remained final. Whittaker won the bout by technical knockout. With his name growing and his status rising, tougher opponents began to take their shot at the rising star. Next up, Whittaker would go against the formidable Steven Dreadhaj. But as formidable as Steven was, Whittaker still set his eyes on a knockout win to add to his career wins. And so the two went head-to-head on the 10th of December 2023. This fight would prove no different from his others as Whittaker went on the offensive and taunted his opponent with antics. It was like a child's play. But in the second round, Whittaker slipped up a bit. This didn't change much, as in the third round, Whittaker regained the momentum after landing several hits to Steven's face, which caused blood to leak from his nose. It was becoming an onslaught. The Englishman stepped up his antics as he began to look into the crowd as he fought, having conversations with the spectators. But the referee was having none of it and warned Whittaker. Early in the fourth round, a strong right jab from Whittaker saw Steven go to the ground, and Whittaker won on knockout. The hit Steven took to his nose would eventually require him to use a nose mask. Whittaker's next opponent was an experienced boxer named Khalid Gradia, who had fought over 30 professional matches. This time around, Whittaker tried a different approach, as he kept his opponent at a distance to avoid hits rather than dodge them like he usually did. This gave him an advantage as he landed blows without receiving any. In the fourth round of the fight, Whittaker broke the rules as he made an illegal strike to the crown of Gradia's head. Still on in the bout, Whittaker remained unfazed as he baited his opponent and danced around all the attempts made at him. Whittaker continued to break rules, which saw the referee pause the fight to deduct a point from Whittaker. Whittaker finally decided it was time to wrap up the fight as he sent a barrage of punches the way of Gradia, which saw him win by knockout. Whittaker remains flawless in his record as a professional. At 6'3", the boxers currently compete in the light heavyweight class. His eyes are set to be champion of his weight class very soon. Many often draw parallels from his skills and fighting style to the great and legendary Naseem Hamed, but Whittaker admitted to it being a coincidence and that his idol is the great Cuban boxer Mario Kindlin. Whittaker even admitted he began interested in sports because of Mario Kindlin, and that he learned a lot from watching him. Whittaker also mentioned other idols like Tommy Hearns, Pernell Whitaker, and Floyd Mayweather. With a heavy weight on his punches able to knock out opponents, and his lightning-fast reflexes making him dodge every attempted hit at him, Whittaker has what it takes to be a champion. The untouchable man in the ring is projected to be one of the best if he continues his ascendancy. Thanks for watching our video today. If you like the video, please like, subscribe, share, and comment. We have more boxing videos coming your way, so be on the lookout.